Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East, here with the new DLC. I know that I was playing the Visual to Berlin scenario, but we can always pick that up later, as much as I did with my Panzer Corps campaign. I'm quite interested in playing the 1943 campaign here, and I was actually interested. Let's say I'm putting this on normal. Does it say like, hey? Yeah, okay. They do say that. I was a bit confused because I was checking this a second ago and I saw like, hey, they want me to play on challenging. Alright. Anyway, I'll be playing on challenging, and the difference means that if we go to game options here, the Soviets have everything like this at 110 instead of 100. And since they suggested us playing on challenging, I guess we will. We'll see how it goes there. The 1943 campaign is of course the Kursk offensive start, 1943, which in War East 1 I did not succeed at. So or at least I didn't succeed at regaining the strategic initiative. And after Citadel. Now, if the AI in this game is as much up to standards as War in East 1, which so far I'm loath to believe, but we'll see, then they will do as well here as they did back then. Anyway, having staged a dramatic recovery from the loss of 6th Army at Stalingrad and the Soviet winter offensive, the Axis has built up its armored forces to exploit the strategic opportunity offered by the salient around the city of Kursk. Delays in the arrival of new tanks have allowed the Soviets to build strong fortifications around the salient. The Axis has two choices: risk its precious armor to cut off the Kursk salient and destroy a major portion of the Red Army, or conserve the armor and look for another opportunity to inflict major loss on the Red Army. Well, we are human, Soviet computer. Pretty standard there. Let's get started. I'll just call it this 1943 campaign. As I already checked out how things are looking for a bit, just to take a sneak peek. We have the situation report. By the end of March 1943, Army Group South's counter-offensive to restore the German southern wing of the Eastern Front had moved northeast after the recapture of Kharkov to Belgorod. Here, the front remained frozen during the rainy spring, leaving a huge salient in the German line held by the 9th Army in the north, and the 2nd Army in the western tip, and 4th Panzer Army and Army Detachment Kempf in the south. German options for the summer of 1943 included continuing to refit their army or using it in some type of limited offensive. After much debate and delay, Operation Citadel would be launched by using concentric attacks from the north and south to cut off the Soviet forces in the area centered near Kursk. Soviet options for the summer of 1943 were not limited by numbers of men, guns, or tanks available. Options included striking before the Germans were ready, or waiting for the Germans to attack and then going over to counteroffensives after the German assault formations were degraded. The Stavka chose to let the Germans strike first and gave up a large portion of the favorable summer season to allow this to take place. The Soviets have initiative now, so we can't win by automatic victory there, which is fair enough. Let's do a general outlier for how I want what my strategy will be depending on various things. First of all, I want to get the 17th and the Romanians out. Romanians will hold the Crimea potentially, start digging in along the Dnieper, and I'll be using the 17th Army to prop up defenses up there. Potentially for offensive, potentially not. But my forces are very weak also in this region. 6th Army, not to be rude, but it's kind of a joke. But 1st Panzer Army is even worse. They've been stripped of all armor. And many of these, like, they're holding places with just 4,000 men, which is disaster. Then, of course, we have the forces near Kursk. 9th Army up north. And then we have 2nd Panzer here. These guys are also in a salient of sorts. The Soviets could technically push and push, cut off. But if I take the Kursk salient, then they can't. One of the weak spots for us is the 16th Army, which tends to be very weak generally. And the Soviets can strike there with impunity quite often. Anyway, let's start working with the theater boxes. So first of all, I want to take care of the reinforcement withdrawal schedule. Let's take a look at Balkans. Balkans, they're missing air units, and they have an axis of ground forces. I want to take a look at where I have an access, which is in Norway, but I have too little naval. Which is patrol, fighter, night fighter, bomber. Oh, really? Let's take a look at their air forces. Alright, that's patrol. Let's take a look at our air reserves here. These are patrol units. I'll be sending these to Norway. Cannot send these, so I'll have to wait. I do have some recon there. Let's take a look at recon also constitutes naval. Not here. But they have an axis of ground and air day. Can't remove any of the air forces, so I'll be removing some ground forces. Total of 13. Too much. I could probably take all 3 of those. Let's start with giving these construction units to Western Europe, because I'm not at 100% there. They can build up there. How many men are in a coastal construction battalion? 1,124. And I'm also quite curious what's in a motorized machine gun battalion. Guess it's mostly about the MG-34. Alright, so now I have a few units left. Most like I will send them to Italy though, as fighting will heat up there. But let's take a look at the reserves here, because these would go to Western Europe and then further, but I actually think I might be better off sending them to Italy. Is this axis generic? No, it's actually German. Okay. Balkans and then to Italy, but I don't need it in Balkans because Balkans already has 114%. So even there, I would rather send these guys to Italy or to Western Europe. One thing that I'm certainly sending to Italy is that I think or to the Balkans. Flag high. But I would suggest that I need to send like a heavy flak regiment. And units like these motorized flak battalions, they have more of that. So I'm less inclined to send those. I will send all these Werfers to the Western Theater because they're also planned to go there anyhow. Or to Western Europe. So they can prop up the numbers there. At least when they're completely full. Now the Pioneer Battalions, they don't seem to be going anywhere, so they'll be going to the front in the east, which I think will be quite useful there. None of the Stuk batteries is ready, nor are any of these, so I'll leave them there. Then only if one of these flak is above 80 will I send them to. Okay, these two artillery, I'm sending them to the map as well. None of these are ready, so I'll wait. They currently don't have any movement or placement structure. They would go to Balkans and then Italy anyways. I might just as well only send them to Italy because they're not useful in the Balkans anyhow. There we go. Now I need at least 28 in ground forces in Western Europe extra. I'll send the these would be sent to Italy sooner or later. I'm gonna send them now. The Sturm Luftwaffe Field Division. The same will apply. Let's see actually what it says. The division was part of the blah blah blah. The division was destroyed at Stalingrad in July 43. February 43 it was reformed as Kampfgruppe with a single grenadier regiment with 3 battalions in artillery. March it was sent to Norway. And that's where it remained officially. But do I need it in Norway? I don't think so. Alright, that's at the 269th to Western Europe already. And I'll be sending the 295th over to Italy. Let's take a look at Finland. Finland has too much air. Well, actually let's go for this first. I have 114. So let's get the artillery onto the map. Lots of preparations to be done before, you know, I even start with the battle and stuff. I'm gonna send all these engineers also to the map. I really want to have these support units out there. Just like the AA and just like the artillery. Okay, let's see what we're at right now. 110. I can still take 9. I don't mind taking the 8th SS Cavalry. We'll be going to Balkans turn 40, which is exactly why I don't need them. And there's also this motorized brigade. Nope. Let's think. Definitely don't want to get any of the security units. This mountain regiment. I'll transfer mountain units to the map. Really like them there. Alright, let's send the 8th SS Cavalry over to Italy as well. 105, I can still take 5. The thing is, this is a big motorized brigade, 9,000 men. Send it to the map. And let's leave it at 102. I think that will be fine. Okay, that's the garrison. Now, Balkans. I have too much here in terms of men. 18. Too much. This 1st Panzer Division would be going to the map, but the question is whether I wouldn't want it in Italy, rather. This Jaeger Division would be going to the map too, and the Luftwaffe Field Division would be staying there. Let's send the 11th Luftwaffe Field Division to Italy. We know we need reinforcements there, and I don't know how bad things is gonna get there, because they are very likely to increase the need for units there, and we're already down, so I'd rather try to get units there quickly so that I'm prepared. This motorized brigade is rather small, 2,000 men only. But let's see what happens if I send 1st Panzer to Italy. That leaves me at 103. So I'm better off leaving these units there. All the rest. Finland, 106, 148, so I can actually send some air units, probably an entire fighter group. They would be going to the west, but don't I already have enough there? Not air knight. I'm actually just checking out some of these fighters. These don't have air knights either. Right, well, I think I could probably get these out. How are we in Italy again? 107. That will probably increase too. These are fighters already, so I'm gonna send these over to Italy. And I'll remove this, clear the transfers, yeah. Most of it comes from fighters, so I really can remove one part of it already. Quite a few of these would be going to Norway. Like these, turn 71. And I'll have one group go to Italy. Does take a lot from ground forces as well. I have 13 left. Might be able to send some flak over to the Balkans. Maybe one or two heavy flak. Just like a flak regiment. Takes this down to 104 and this to 114. Let's leave it at that then, and I can pull out one infantry division. They would go to map on 84, 91. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send some of these smaller units over to Italy as well. These panzer battalions. That's where to be going. I'm at 103 now. Also be sending some of those and these AT guns and Panzerjägers to Italy. Okay, this is good enough for the moment. So that's how I take Balkans, Italy, the garrison, the reserves. I have nothing else here that I can do. Some flak. I'm gonna send some to Italy. To deal with the incoming storm that's about to break loose. And the last thing, I have a lot of air coverage here now, but I want to keep it that way, so I'm gonna leave those, not worry about it. Okay, well, that leaves me with the air forces over here. And I want to take a bit of a look, so Air Fleet 1 has 10 fighters. They are operating from those. What are the air directives currently? Recon and ground support. actually want to have a different target. I don't need to recon this, so... Like, I don't really care about this. Given the current situation, I might actually try to go around here, try to strike in this direction, instead of going through here, where it'll be tough getting across the river. Meaning... I don't care about those there either. I need to check this. Whereas here, I'm most likely to target these two. Like, I think trying to go through all these units is probably too tough, and I don't have operational movement afterwards. I will leave a lot of units like this open, but it's still probably better to cut off the Soviets in here and get something at least than, you know, deal with those. Then I would still need to take all these units plus their reserve in order to get a reasonable front line back. Probably like this, it's the best, yeah. And the rest is ground support, which I also think will be useful. So let's run it, I think. Start there. Well, I didn't even have that many losses yet for this. Alright. Game. There we are. Right. Now that we've taken care of everything except the ground forces, I think it's probably time to end the video here. We're half an hour in. So, yeah, I think it's worthwhile to leave it at that here. And then we'll get started in the next episode. Thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, and bye-bye.